Hi, I'm Alexis Kaminsky, and today I'm interviewing...
I'm Mrs. Daniels, special education teacher here at Oakville High School.
Today we are doing an event in Oakfield through the Skills USA chapter, and we are having a couple people shave their heads to honor Mrs. Daniels in her events that she is going through currently, and we will get to that soon. So I have a few questions for you if you would like to answer them.
Sure.
Tell me about your early life, like your childhood, family.
Well, I was born and raised in Fond du Lac. I went to school in Fond du Lac, and I went to college at UW-Oshkosh and got my teaching degree from there, and then went back and got my master's degree also from UW-Oshkosh. Moved around a little bit in my early years, like my early 20s, and then decided to move back to Fond du Lac, in Fond du Lac area, I should say. And in 2009, my husband and I built a house in the Oakfield School District, and I've been working here in Oakfield since 2014.
Wow, that is a wonderful life.
Mm-hmm.
So, can we discuss the thing that everyone's waiting to hear about?
Sure. So I was diagnosed with breast cancer in August of 2018, so last summer. It came as quite a shock to me. I don't have any family history of breast cancer, or any actually family history of cancer for that matter. So it came as quite a shock. I'm 44 years old, and they found the tumors in routine mammogram. So at age 40, they recommend you start having mammograms, and I would have one every summer basically. And this past summer, they found not one tumor and not two tumors, but actually 3 tumors.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a type of breast cancer that's called triple negative breast cancer, and only about 15% of all diagnosed breast cancers are triple negative. What triple negative means is that many types of breast cancers are, I should say, growing in a woman's body because of hormones, and mine are hormone receptor negative, basically. So it's not that they aren't growing because of hormones in my body, which means that the options for treatment are somewhat limited. Triple negative is a very aggressive cancer. And if it's not caught early, it can metastasize throughout your body. And luckily mine was caught early. They believe, they won't know the exact stage until they do surgery, but they believe that it is stage 1 and that I don't have any lymph nodes involved, meaning it hasn't spread through my lymph nodes at this point. It's isolated just to my breasts. So I'm lucky to have a great team of doctors who are aware of how aggressive the cancer is and are being equally aggressive with my treatment. So I started treatment in August, at the end of August. I had chemotherapy first, so I could choose to do surgery first or chemotherapy first, and it made sense for me to do chemotherapy first. I have a port that they put in surgically. They put a port in my chest right here where they would administer the chemotherapy. The first cycle of chemotherapy was a dose-dense chemotherapy that was administered every other week for 4 treatments, so 8 weeks total. And then when I was done with that, I had another round of 12 weeks every week, which I just finished last Tuesday. Yay. Excited about that because I'm ready to be done with chemotherapy. Each chemotherapy session was about 3 to 4 hours.
Wow.
I had to sit in the clinic, yep. And my husband, Sean, came with me every week. He sat with me for those 3 hours, a lot of times while I slept, and just kept me occupied and my mind off of stressful things. The next treatment that my doctors will be doing is I will be having surgery. I will have a double mastectomy, probably in 3 weeks or so.
Wow, that's soon.
Yeah, it is. So they want to make sure after chemotherapy, your white blood cell count is really low. and they won't do surgery until the white blood cell count gets back, which they said takes about 3 to 4 weeks after chemotherapy. So I'm anticipating mid to end of February I'll be doing that. And I anticipate probably being out for recovery for about 3 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks probably with surgery. And then after that, the recommendation is that I have radiation because again the type of breast cancer is very aggressive, so they want to irradiate the area to make sure that no living cancer cells are remaining, because if even one cancer cell is remaining, it can metastasize and it can go throughout your body. So they're being very cautious about that. So radiation treatments are every day for 28 days, not including weekends. So about 5.5 weeks I'll have to have a radiation treatment to treat the breast tissue area, the area where the breast tissue was, to make sure that no cancer remains. And then hopefully after that, I should be on the road to recovery, but that probably brings us really close to the end of the school year. So I'm hoping that that we should be healed and moving on. And then after that, they'll probably do scans and blood tests every 3 months at first, and then like every 6 months, and then after I hit a certain point, probably yearly, they'll check for
just to double check.
Yep, absolutely. So,
what was your first thought or feeling that you had when they told you had that?
I was in absolute shock. Obviously, it felt very surreal. Like it was like a dream I was going to wake up from. I really did not expect to have that kind of diagnosis at all. I really just, I had no symptoms. You couldn't feel the tumors. They were only detected by mammogram, and so I wasn't even really thinking when they asked me to come in for another, a check after the first mammogram to make sure. I was like, oh, this is just, precautionary. They're not going to find anything, because there's no way. I mean, I don't really have any of the risk factors. I don't have a family history. They do a genetic test to make sure that you're not gene positive. I don't have that as a risk factor. So really, it was disbelief. In fact, my kids were with me at the second check. I really expected it just to be really quick. They wouldn't find anything and they'd send me on my way. It was pretty devastating, obviously. I was not expecting that at this point in my life.
Right. Who and how did they support you? Part of your family? I know your husband Sean was a big part of it, and I know Henry and Sarah are a big part of it too. But how did they support you?
Like I said, my husband Sean was with me every single week. Which is pretty amazing, actually. Even when I just kind of slept through the treatments, he was always there. And I was very drowsy a lot of times, so I needed somebody to take me, drive me there and back. Honestly, I am absolutely floored by the support that I've received from pretty much everybody. My family has been a huge support. My siblings and my mom and dad, extended family, everybody has just been so supportive with kind words and just willing to help out wherever has been needed. Family members started a meal train, so we've been well fed over the course of the last 6 months or so. I cannot say enough about the school district and the students and staff here. It's been amazing. Excuse me, sorry.
It's okay.
My coworkers and the students here have just been absolutely wonderful and supportive, and not that I didn't expect it. It's just one of those things you just never know how it's going to play out, and I don't know how to thank everybody here enough. I probably haven't thanked everybody enough, but the willingness to do fundraising and all those kinds of things has just been really an amazing outpouring of support from my family and myself, and I'm so touched by it.